want to welcome to the show Whānau. You know him from TikTok and from when Chewie McMasters was away fangirling various punk rockers in the UK. Sean Acklin filled in for us, and he joins us right now. Sean, kia ora and good evening.
Kia ora. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being had. Yeah, hey, this is a bit of a, we do this sometimes, a bit of a family meeting, notices, so to speak. I teased this a little bit the other night, but let me just play a little bit of music, which might give people a bit of a hint as to what we are talking about tonight. Or actually, we're giving people a headline. We're telling people about a new initiative in the big, hairy network. Yes, you can see there is flashes and there is lights and there are people and there is a title of a show which used to be called The Leftist Collective, which is now basically called The Collective. I guess if we were to Pāti Māori, we'd be saying it's a reset. And I think we want to tell the people what we've all talked about, what we've decided and what's going out. Sean Acklin, a podcaster, TikToker, and one of the four main hosts in the new BHN show, The Collective. Tell us about it.
Basically, the idea for The Collective kind of had its origins, I think a couple of weeks ago back at the teachers' strike. Ran into Paul Barlow, IRL as the kids say, and we took a selfie. Got a lot of momentum, and it was the latest in it was the latest in a running theme between the four of us, where we're all getting tagged in each other's videos. We're all kind of there's like a bit of a demand in our viewership for us to all collaborate, to collaborate, and this project is very much that. If I were to describe the project, it would be a re-debut of the original Leftist Collective program, which used to air on the Big Hairy Network, just with myself, Jordan Rivers, Bree Elliott, and Paul Barlow as the four main hosts. Think of it as the idea that we've all kind of had is that it's kind of like a politically left panel show version of 7 Days, where we kind of look at news stories from the past month, we dissect, we analyze, we give our own kind of macro framing that maybe is missing in the mainstream media, and kind of angles that aren't touched on as we feel they should be. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I think that if anybody watches, there's obviously a massive overlap between us four in terms of viewership. Anybody familiar with our content would kind of understand the approach that we'll be taking with each of these news stories, the kind of different angles that kind of lend to each of our sensibilities, and really looking forward to it. So that's pretty much it. Another kind of thing that Paul wanted me to touch on was that it would also feature at the end of every episode a kind of tricky question that will be put to the four of us, and it'll be kind of like a sticky one that we all have to cover. So cool. Overall, really excited. I think that people will enjoy it. You should all watch.
Good sell. Now, we've been talking a bit about as well the idea that we will probably start it monthly-ish. Well, not monthly-ish, monthly. That's what you guys have decided. The four of you are the regular hosts, but that also doesn't mean there might not be guests and etc. Other things, other people coming on. And maybe, depending on what happens closer to the election, it might move to fortnightly or something, but that's all in the future. So wait and see what we wait and see. And when it was kind of launched way back, the previous iteration, it was always an idea to put each other's content in front of other people in that same political sphere. Is that still the vibe you're sort of going with as well? So you can point to other people and say, hey, they're part of our team too. And, they're part of the collective. They're not on the show today, but they're part of the collective, and we should check them out as well.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because that is important. And it kind of alludes back to that 7 days example, because if you think of that program, you do have your regulars, but you also have your you have your semi-regulars, you have your special guests, you have no panel is ever really the same every episode. And that is definitely what we're aiming for, because the four of us don't have a monopoly we thankfully don't have a monopoly on political left commentary in this country. And we'll be doing everything we can to kind of amplify the voices of people who very much should be amplified.
Yeah. And we had a good piece last night from the American commentators talking about how very well the right does the pipeline, and they drag people in on a very, very minor sounding thing like men's fitness, and all of a sudden they're down watching Andrew Tate. And so the right do that better. I mean, credit where credit's due, if you want to give people associated with Andrew Tate credit. But it's important for people on the left, especially coming into next year, to have a pipeline to the truth. Should we put it that way? Pipeline to the truth.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a pipeline. Right now, I feel like I am kind of intercepting. I feel like there's especially because I see my viewership analytics. I'm happy to say it's mainly men, because I feel like that's the content that I want. My content is the kind of content that I want to get through to men, to young men especially. And so kind of if these guys go on TikTok, they see a few workout videos that leads them to a few videos on how to, how to kind of date or pick up girls or whatever, which eventually leads them down that Andrew Tate rabbit hole. I'm there to kind of get them before that happens.
Yeah.
So that's and I feel like that's what we're doing right now. We're just intercepting all of these people from going down those very, very well-established pipelines, because it's actually not just young men, it's women as well. Like it starts, like if you think of healthy recipes online, that eventually leads to kind of stuff like maha. It leads to the anti-vax stuff, which again, so it's the more of us that are out there to kind of, run cover to these guys, the better.
Yeah. Chewie?
I saw a couple of really good examples of this recently in I guess the American algorithm, is that there was a guy, I think he's a carpenter, and he's just his footages of just him making chests of drawers and stuff like that. But the whole time he's talking about leftist politics and what socialism actually is and what's going on in the house at the moment. And then occasionally calling out people that are going, why can't you just stick to the woodwork? And he goes, cool. So I'm doing a dovetail joint here. And what we really need to do is make sure that we're voting for progressive people all the time. And then I saw another one, which was a guy with a sort of a garage workshop, and he's doing car stuff. And the one that I saw was just a comment of like, hey, look, I'm a trans woman that's very much in the car scene, and I can't find a place where I am. Is your channel a safe place for a trans woman that likes cars? And he was just like emphatically, yes. And fuck all of these people that won't let you in the scene. Do you like cars? That's all we care about. You know what? Now I'm going on a huge rant about this. And he has massively pivoted into that, going, oh, okay, no one in this scene is talking about these things. And it's fascinating to watch.
The interesting, Sean, you said that your viewership is young men. We get that as well. We have a skew to male, and Bomber always talks about young men are the people who we need to reach, because that's who the Trump type person reached with their bro podcasts and that kind of thing. And it's interesting because TVNZ young men have abandoned TVNZ, television in general. And I know that for a fact their figures that they've gone from TVNZ. So they're going to be attracted to something else. And if it's you, or respectfully or humbly, if it's us, that's a good place to be. I thought what we might do to start the show off is if you're cool to stay for 5 minutes, Sean, we might talk about, sorry. Before we do this, there was a question. I saw you highlighted it, Chewie, and I think we'll do this because we haven't said this. What is it called when? So it's called The Collective.
The Collective.
What is the platform? And the platform is anywhere that you see anything on the Big Hairy Network. So the main two places that's going to be is on the Big Hairy Network Facebook page and the Big Hairy Network YouTube channel. So they're going to be the two main places. There's a Twitch channel and there's some other little bits and bobs, but they're the main two places. And when this Sunday, 7 p.m., and I believe you guys are going to try and do another one in a month, so 2 in 2025, is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
And then at the moment, the conversation is monthly. Will you kind of keep it middle of the month? Have you got a rule for that yet? Or we just figure that out next year?
We'll probably, tentatively, it is probably we're going to keep it at the middle of the month. If kind of plans change or the format of our program is actually, it lends itself quite well to kind of people's schedules, because we can just bring in it's an opportunity to bring in new voices and kind of introduce new faces to audiences. So we're not beholden to everybody's schedule, we're not restricted. So
I am just a couple of other quick questions. Kiwi Bird wants to know if you'll be shirtless smoking cigars during it. I mean, there's a question. Okay.
I think it's an Andrew Tate reference.
Okay. And also 15mm history says, LOL Sean, history class 07 SPCAR. Does that make sense to you?
That does make sense to me. I assume it's somebody who I went to school with back at St. Peter's College in 2007, where we did history.
Did you go to St. Peter's College in Auckland, Mountain Road?
I did.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Eagle River.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I bet whoever that guy is, I bet that his head is spinning watching me on the show, because I was not a good student.
There you go. Well, hello, Pat, hello, Chewie. Not a good students. So we just kind of, the people with the biggest opinions sometimes, Hey, so what we'll do, Sean, now is we've done all that. Thanks, team, for your input. 7 p.m. Sunday night, be here. And then in about a month, Sunday night as well, 7 p.m., be here again.